What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back to my best skill sets guide series. In this series I give you guys the best skill sets and the best skill inheritance options for each and every unit, and if you haven't checked out the previous episodes I highly recommend you to do that, as I've covered a lot of popular characters in those videos. And in this video I'm going to be covering the remaining A+ tier units and some A tier units. So let's begin with Camilla, because she has been requested a lot by my viewers, and Camilla is a really balanced flyer which allows her to function as a player phase unit as well as an enemy phase unit depending on the skill set. And for her assist skill we're going to be giving her reposition. Reposition is the single best skill for any kind of flyer because it allows you to put allies across bridges and across mountains, so it's really good. And Draconic Aura does not really work on a unit like Camilla who does not have very high attack, so arghblargh is actually much more consistent. And if you happen to have a minus resistance Camilla, then I guess you can go with Luna. And for her slot A we're gonna be giving her Death Blow because Camilla desperately needs more power, so Death Blow does provide her with that. And I wouldn't really recommend running Life and Death on her because she's actually pretty bulky, so all that it is gonna do is reduce her bulk. So in my opinion Death Blow is the better skill. And for slot B you want to give her Axe Breaker, and Axe Breaker allows her to one round KO every axe unit in the game except for Hector and Sheena. For slot C you can either go with Threat and Defense or just stay with Savage Blow. Savage Blow in my opinion isn't really that bad of a skill on an offensive unit, but if you want to win more matchups and get more one round KOs then I guess you can go with Threat and Defense. And for her Sacred Seal you should always be running Attack +1. So let's check out her matchup chart, and this is her matchup chart. She has got 66 wins, 18 losses and 41 draws, which isn't really too bad. It's actually much better than default Camilla skill set. As you can see she only has 46 wins, so this skill set is more player face oriented. She actually has another skill set which is more of a player face oriented set, and it is actually pretty expensive to be honest. So you want to give her Killer Axe Plus for her weapon, and once again you want to retain reposition because like I said it's a really good skill for any kind of flyer. And you want to go with arghblargh. And for slot A you actually want to go with Distant Counter because this allows her to be a magic check. Distant Counter is a really good skill on units like Camilla, Florina and Est because it allows them to be a magic check while doing damage on the physical side, so that's really good. And for slot B we're going to be giving her Quick Riposte. Quick Riposte is to make sure that she doubles units in enemy phase and triggers her arghblargh and just kill them in most cases. For slot C you obviously do not want to run Savage Blow because it's a player phase skill and you want to run something like Threat and Defense or maybe some kind of Hone skill. It's up to you. And for her Sacred Seal you can either run Attack +1 or HP +3. It's up to you. And I'll show you guys the matchup chart of this Camilla in enemy phase. So she has got 56 wins and 21 losses, which is pretty good, and because of the defensive terrain she can perform even much better and reduce her losses and increase her wins. So if she is on a defensive tile that's obviously going to be pretty good for her. And with this skill set she's basically able to beat every blue and green mage in the game other than Merrick, and Merrick isn't really that common, so honestly it's not really that big of a deal. As you can see Merrick does not die, and as you can see all other blue and green mages simply die, and a lot of these blue and green mages are known to run Life and Death, for example Nino and Lynch, so they often run Life and Death, so that means they're going to be dying much more easily. So Camilla can function as a great magic check. This metagame is very mage oriented and it has become even more mage oriented due to these mage banners for the Voting Gauntlet, so Camilla can be a really nice magic check in that regard. So these were the two best skill sets for Camilla. Now let's move on to our next unit, and now I'm going to be talking about Soren. So Soren is a pretty interesting unit. If you do not have Nino or Julia he can do roles of both of those green mages depending on the skill set you run on him, and he's very versatile in that regard. And he has got two main skill sets. So for this skill set you want to give him Ground Blade either from a 3-star or 4-star Nino. You can even give Ground Blade Plus, but it really does not make that big of a difference. Like the only difference between these two weapons is between their mights. It's not really that big of a difference. They still function the same way, and if you give him Ground Blade Plus then he's going to be winning like 2 more matchups compared to Ground Blade after the buffs from Erica or Ephraim. And for his assist skill, you want to give him Ardent Sacrifice, and for his special, you want to give him Moonbow. And this skill set is going to be mimicking Nino's most popular skill set, so that's why we're going to go with Life and Death. And you want to replace his slot B skill with Desperation, and slot C can be whatever you want. Fortify Resistance isn't really that bad. You can also give him Threaten Resistance if you want to, and this is his first skill set in which he tries to mimic Nino. And if you missed getting a 5-star Nino from the Battling Ursula banner, which was like 2 months back, Soren can do a pretty good job of Nino, and I'll show you guys his matchup chart. So this is his matchup chart with this skill set, and now we're going to be giving him the standard boost from Erica or Ephraim. So +3 attack from Siegmund or Sieglinde, +4 speed from Hone Speed, and then +4 defense from Rally Defense. And then let's assume that he has used 1 Ardent Sacrifice, and 1 Ardent Sacrifice does put him in the Desperation range. And you should run Moonbow because Ground Blade does increase the special trigger cooldown, so that's why we're going to be giving him 26 HP, assuming that he used 1 Ardent Sacrifice. And this is his matchup chart, as you can see. And keep in mind, I'm using the standard Ground Blade, I'm not using the plus version of it, which you get from a 5-star Nino, so you can even just use a 4-star or a 3-star Nino. Now let's compare his matchup chart to Nino, and as you can see, Nino has got the same skill set as him, and she's actually got the plus version of her weapon. And as you can see, Soren does a pretty similar job to Nino. So if you do not have a 5-star Nino, then Soren can be a really good option with this skill set. And in his second skill set, Soren tries to mimic Julia, and he becomes a blue and green magic check. So for this skill set, you want to retain his default weapon, and you want to give him Reposition. And Reposition is honestly one of the best, if not the best assist skill in the game, and it gives him nice utility. And for his special, you want to give him Luna, and Luna gives him 15 points of additional damage on units who have got 30 resistance. And you can even run Iceberg if you want to have a consistent source of damage, because Iceberg gives him 14 points of consistent damage. Green Tomebreaker allows him to check the notorious Nino, Bunny Camilla, and other Julias, so it's a great option for slot B. And this is the option you should be running if you want your Soren to be a magic check. And for slot C, like I said, you can have Fortify Resistance, but after Threaten Resistance debuff, you can actually kill some green mages, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. And with this skill set, you want to run Speed +1 as a Sacred Seal to win more matchups. And let's actually check out his matchup chart against the Green Tome and the Blue Tome users, which he's going to be checking. So as you can see, he pretty much kills every popular Green and Blue Tome user other than Julia, and Julia also dies after Threaten Resistance debuff, so that's why Threaten Resistance is kind of needed. And the only unit who's able to survive is Odin, and nobody really uses Odin in Arena, so it's not really that big of a deal. You also need Threaten Resistance debuff to kill Ursula, otherwise she is able to survive. So after you get the Threaten Resistance debuff, he's able to kill Julia and Ursula, and I'll be showing you guys more calcs. So let's assume that he's up against a Bunny Camilla who has got Fortify Flyers boost, and even a +10 Bunny Camilla dies to Soren as long as she's not plus attack, and as long as she does not have the Hone Flyers boost. And that is pretty easy to do, because all you have to do is bait out the Hone Flyer booster away from Bunny Camilla, and then she does not have the Hone Flyer boost. So Soren is able to kill this Bunny Camilla who's running the Groundblade Plus set with Death Blow, and she's also got the resistance boost from the Fortify Flyer skill. And I'll show you guys another calc versus Reinhardt, who is very popular in Arena right now. So this Reinhardt is plus attack, and he has got Death Blow, and let's give him boost from Hone Cavalry and Fortify Cavalry. So Soren is able to survive versus this kind of Reinhardt who has got 6 resistance bonus from Fortify Cavalry. So as you can see, Soren does a pretty great job of being a blue and green magic check. So these were 2 of his best skill sets. Now let's move on to our next unit. And now we're going to be taking a look at Lon'qu, and Lon'qu is pretty underrated unit, and he has more uses outside of being a Vantage fodder. He's actually the fastest unit in the game with base 39 speed, so that is awesome. And Lon'qu has got 2 main offensive skill sets, and since Lon'qu cannot be summoned as a 5-star unit, I would suggest you to only upgrade a Lon'qu who is plus attack, and if he has got minus resistance Bane, then that is just perfect. And for his weapon, you want to run Brave Sword Plus, and Brave Sword Plus allows a fast unit like Lon'qu to quad attack many units, and for his assist skill you want to give him Reciprocal Aid, and for his special you want to give him Luna, and for slot A you want to give him Life and Death. Life and Death gives him extra power while negating the -5 speed from Brave Sword, and you want to give him Desperation instead of Vantage, and Reciprocal Aid is there so that he can easily reach his Desperation range, and he has got a pretty decent HP stat, so he can be a good passive healer with Reciprocal Aid. And for his slot C you want to give him Threatened Defense. Threatened Defense actually wins him more matchups compared to Threatened Speed after the debuff. And for his Sacred Seal you want to run Speed +1 so that he reaches nice 40 speed. And let's take a look at his matchup chart. So this is his matchup chart with 100 wins, and let's assume that he has used Reciprocal Aid and he's in his Desperation range and he wins even more matchups. So this matchup chart is above average, and say if you do not have a 5-star Kayn or Ogma to sacrifice, you can even run the standard Brave Sword from a 4-star Drog, and he will be still wrecking house. So it's up to you and the availability of your units. And I always say this in my videos that it is implied that if you do not have a version 3 of a skill, you can always go with the version 2 of that skill. So for example, if you do not have a Life and Death 3 fodder, you can even go with Life and Death 2. Usually the difference between the version 2 and version 3 skills are pretty marginal. It's nothing too huge, but the reason why I show you guys the version 3 of the skills with the skill set is because I want to show you guys these units at their maximum potentials. And he has got another skill set, but not much changes other than his weapon and his special to Moonbow. And you can run this set if you happen to have a Greil with minus speed or minus attack IV, so you can just give him Wood Out Plus. Wood Out Plus is a really unique weapon, and Lon'qu can hit extremely hard with the combination of Moonbow, and he doubles a lot of units because he's the fastest unit in the game, so he can make amazing use of Wood Out Plus, and he reaches 50 attack and 44 speed, which is pretty insane. And with the skill set you actually want to run attack +1 Sacred Seal instead of speed +1 Sacred Seal, and here we have got the same skill set. And as you can see, he's got 99 wins with this skill set, and Moonbow is definitely recommended with any kind of Wood Out Plus set. It is a very good skill to be run with a weapon like Wood Out Plus, and both of these skill sets are actually really good. Of course they're gonna be a bit expensive, but hey, if you want to use Lon'qu and if you're passionate about him, then you can definitely run these skill sets. And yeah, that is pretty much the 2 skill sets for Lon'qu. Now let's move on to our 4th unit, and now we're gonna be taking a look at Titania. And Titania is a balanced cavalier, so you want to run Fury for her slot A skill, and Fury is amazing on any kind of balanced unit like Titania, and you can even run Darting Blow. Darting Blow is also pretty amazing on her, and for her assist skill you want to give her Reposition or Swap, because both of those skills are amazing for a frontline unit like Titania. And for her special you want to give her Iceberg so that she gets 16 points of additional damage whenever she triggers that. And for slot B you want to give her Lance Breaker, and Lance Breaker allows her to 1-round KO Effie, who is one of the most dominant and powerful units in the game, and it also allows her to 1-round KO Fury Sharina, who's also very popular, and she can pretty much 1-round KO every Lance unit in the game except for Gwendolyn and Lucas. So Lance Breaker is amazing for her slot B skill. You can just run Lance Breaker too actually, and a lot of people might say that you should run Desperation, but in my opinion Desperation isn't really that needed, because all it does is change the order of your attacks, and Titania does have pretty good bulk after Fury, so she does not really need Desperation in my opinion. And for slot C you can either give her Threatened Defense or Hone Attack, it's up to you. Hone Attack works really well as she's able to support her allies, and with this skill set you want to run speed +1 Sacred Seal. You can even run Distant Counter plus Quick Repose, just like I showed you guys for Camilla. And if you're gonna be running this skill set, then you need not give her Killer Axe Plus like Camilla. Emerald Axe actually works really well with Titania, and she's basically able to destroy every blue and green mage in the game other than Bunny Camilla and Female Robin, so that is pretty good. And these were the 2 skill sets for Titania, and let's move on to our 5th unit. And now we're going to be taking a look at the strongest green unit for a Horse Emblem team, Cecilia. And Cecilia actually has got 2 skill sets, and her first skill set is for Horse Emblem teams, and Cecilia cannot be summoned as a 5-star unit, so that's why I would suggest you to promote only a plus speed Cecilia for a Horse Emblem team, and minus defense is her best bane. And you want to give her Ground Blade or Ground Blade Plus, it's up to you. Like I said, the difference isn't really too big, so let's give her Ground Blade. And for her assist skill, you want to give her Ardent Sacrifice, and for her special, you want to run Moonbow because Ground Blade does increase the special trigger cooldown, so that's why you want to run the lowest cooldown special. And for slot A, you want to run Life in Death, and for slot B, you want to run Desperation. And Life in Death and Desperation makes her a very scary nuke, and she's able to pretty much destroy the entire cast after the Hoenn Cavalier and Fortify Cavalier boost, and she is the best green unit for any kind of Horse Emblem team. For slot C, you can either run Fortify Cavalry or Hoenn Cavalry, it's up to you. For her Secret Seal, you want to run Attack +1 or Speed +1, either or works for her, and this is her matchup chart after getting the Hoenn Cavalier and the Fortify Cavalier boost, which is absolutely amazing, and she's able to dominate the entire cast. The difference between the standard Ground Blade and Ground Blade Plus is actually not much. As you can see, she still has the same amount of wins with Ground Blade Plus, but if you are a high ranking arena player and you might face units up to +5 merge, and if you're going to be facing +5 merge units, then the difference between the standard Ground Blade and Ground Blade Plus becomes a bit more, but it's not too much, so it's up to you if you want to sacrifice a 5-star Nino. And her second set can be used outside of Horse Emblem, and she becomes a great check to blue units and colorless units. And for the skill set, plus attack minus resistance is the most optimal IV spread for her, and you want to run Ground Raven Plus, which is her default weapon, which she gets at 5-star rarity. And if your team needs a good Lance check or a Reinhardt check, then this Cecilia set is for you, because a plus attack Reinhardt with +6 attack boost from Hoenn Cavalry does like 10 damage to Cecilia, so she can be a great check to blue horse units which you face in Horse Emblem teams. And Kagero is also another notorious popular unit for ending people's deathless runs, so a Life in Death plus attack Kagero does like 7 damage to Cecilia with this skill set, and she can be a very anti-meta unit, to be honest. So for her assist skill, you want to run Reposition because it does add to the utility of Cecilia, and for her special, you want to run Luna, and for slot A, you want to run Triangle Adept to make sure that she obliterates every blue and colorless unit in the game, and anyone who survives does not really do any kind of damage to her. Slot B has 2 options available. You can either run Lance Breaker if you plan to use her in the player phase, and if you want to use Cecilia more in the enemy phase, then you can even run Quick Riposte, so it's up to you. And for slot C, you want to run Threaten Resistance, and you can even run Hoenn's Attack if you want to support your allies, so it's up to you. And for her Secret Seal, you want to run Attack +1 to maximize her damage output. So those were 2 of her best skill sets, and let's move on to our next unit. And now we're going to be taking a look at Catria. So Catria is just one of those units who already has a very synergetic skill set, so all you can do is just slap Reposition and Threaten Defense and call it a day. But if you want to run a bit different skill set, you can run Quick Riposte for slot B, and for slot A, you can run Iot Shield. Now, Iot Shield is amazing on her because she does not die to any archer other than Setsuna with her Quatsuna skill set, and I'll show you guys that. So here we have got this Catria with Iot Shield and with the same skill set pretty much, and she's up against a Brave Bow plus client who is plus attack, and he has got +1 attack, Secret Seal, and Life in Death, so he's pretty much at his maximum damage potential. And then we have Takumi. Takumi is also not able to kill her, and then we have George with plus attack, Brave Bow plus, and Life in Death 3 with attack +1 Sacred Seal. Catria is able to hang on with 1 HP, and then we have got Setsuna. Now unfortunately, Quatsuna is able to kill her in 1 round, but if Catria is on the defensive terrain, then Catria is able to survive. So if she's on the defensive tile, then no archer can kill her. You can honestly run attack +3 as her slot A skill because archers are really not that common, and most of the archers are very frail, so you can easily kill them, and you shouldn't be leaving your Catria in their range regardless. But if you're using a Flyer Emblem team, then I guess Iot Shield Catria does make more sense and she can serve a better purpose. You always want to run attack +1 Sacred Seal with her, and that's pretty much her skill sets. So let's move on to our next unit, and now we're going to be taking a look at Chrom. Chrom actually has got 3 sets, and I will be mentioning all of them because all of them are really good and all of them are viable. So here we have Chrom. For his first skill set, you want to run Reciprocal Aid as his assist skill, and you want to change his special to Moonbow. And for slot A, you want to give him Death Blow, and for slot B, you want to give him Brash Assault. Now, Reciprocal Aid does help you get in the range of Brash Assault, and he has got a really good HP stat, so he can be an amazing passive healer. And Moonbow is very much needed because he needs to get a lot of one-round KOs with his Brash Assault, so that's why Moonbow is necessary. Death Blow for slot A is preferred, however, you can even run Defiant Attack, but Death Blow is better because you can stack Hone Attack bonus with Death Blow, which is something you cannot do with Defiant Attack. And Brash Assault lets Chrom double attack melee opponents with his monstrous attack stat, and Threatened Defense on his slot C allows him to win more matchups and get one-round KOs. And Brash Assault sets are actually much more viable now due to the introduction of defensive tiles. I'll show you guys that in a moment. And for his Sacred Seal, you want to run attack +1. So let's take a look at his matchup chart, and this is the same skill set for him. And let's assume that he is in his Brash Assault range, which is at 23 HP. And as you can see, he has got 82 wins and 14 losses. And if you consider the fact that he is on a defensive tile, he's going to be having even more wins and only 5 losses. That's amazing, and that's what I meant when I said that Brash Assault sets are much more viable now, because a unit like Chrom, who is so much bulky, can even survive longer because of these defensive tiles, even though he is going to be below 50% HP for his Brash Assault. So yeah, this is his first skill set, and you can even run Defiant Attack actually. For some reason this calc does not work with Defiant Attack, so I'll have to give him the Defiant Attack bonus manually. And as you can see, he's got more wins with Defiant Attack, but the thing is that, like I said, Death Blow does stack up with Hone Attack, so this way he's able to have more matchup wins. So it's up to you, and it's up to the availability of your units if you want to give him Death Blow or Defiant Attack. And let's move on to his second skill set, and this skill set is an enemy phase set, and it's basically for the people who are not lucky enough to pull Ike or Rheoma but have more than 1 Hector. So with this skill set, you want to run Swap, and Swap is an amazing skill for a bulky unit like Chrom, and Moonbow once again is very much needed here, otherwise Chrom will miss out on some crucial one-round KOs. And for slot A, you want to give him Distant Counter, and for slot B, you want to give him Quick Riposte, and Quick Riposte allows him to win so many matchups that it's absolutely incredible, and he becomes a great enemy phase unit. And Distant Counter allows him to destroy pretty much every ranged unit in the game other than the blue mages, who can obviously just one-shot him. And for his Sacred Seal, you of course want to run attack +1, and everything is going to be same. And this is his matchup chart with the skill set in enemy phase. So as you can see, 92 wins, which is above average. And in case you do not have extra Hector, you can even run defense +3, and defense +3 actually wins him more matchups compared to attack +3, as you can see. So yeah, it's up to you. And let's move on to his third skill set. His third skill set is player phase oriented, but it is more offensive and it is more consistent than his Brash Assault set, and in my opinion, this is truly his best skill set. So for his weapon, you want to run Brave Sword Plus, because Chrom has got the 3rd highest attack stat in the game and the highest attack stat for a sword unit, so he can efficiently use this weapon. And you want to run Pivot for his assist skill, because with Pivot he can move to places quicker and overall increase his mobility. And for his special, you want to give him Draconic Aura, and with Death Blow, Draconic Aura gives him 15 points of additional damage, and Death Blow is his slot A skill. For slot A, you want to give him Death Blow, and with Death Blow he actually reaches 52 attack after his attack +1 Sacred Seal when he initiates an attack. And for slot B, you want to run Sword Breaker. Sword Breaker lets him one-round KO every sword unit in the game other than Sword Breaker Ike and Zephiel. And for slot B, you can obviously run Threaten Defense, and for his Sacred Seal, you want to run Attack +1, and this is his matchup chart with this Brave Sword Plus set. And as you can see, it is pretty good actually, 92 wins, and it is actually more consistent than Brash Assault set. And you can even run the standard Brave Sword set if you want to, if you do not have a 5-star Cain or Ogma, because he's still able to do a lot of damage. So yeah, these were the 3 best skill sets for Chrom, and Chrom is a unit who really benefits from the defensive tiles. So if you run the first or the second set, make sure that he is present on defensive tile, because he's able to win more matchups and survive longer. So yeah, let's move on to our 8th unit, and now we're going to be taking a look at our last 8+ tier unit, and that unit is Adult Tiki. Adult Tiki has become really good after Skill Inheritance mechanic, and you cannot really summon her as a native 5-star unit unless you got her from the Battling Female Robin banner, which was like really early on. So I'll suggest you guys to run plus attack minus resistance IV spread for this build, and Lightning Breath Plus has got distant counter built into it, so that's why she is so good. And for her assist skill, you want to give her rally speed and you want to give her own attack. Rally speed plus own attack is a good support combo, and she can provide even more utility and support to her teammates with this. And for her special, you want to run Moonbow, because Lightning Breath does increase your special trigger cooldown, so that's why you want to run the lowest cooldown move. And for slot A, you can run Attack +3 or Fury, it's up to you. The difference isn't really that big, and Attack +3 does not make her lose HP every time she initiates an attack or gets attacked. And for slot B, you want to run Quick Riposte. Quick Riposte is a must on her, and that's the reason why she is so good after Skill Inheritance mechanic, and this lets her double attack units with her massive attack stat. And for her Sacred Seal, you want to run Attack +1, and this is her matchup chart in the enemy phase. And as you can see, she has got 84 wins, and if she is on a defensive tile, then this matchup chart becomes even better with 94 wins and only 10 losses, and she pretty much kills every green unit in the game other than Water Sweep Soren, which no one really uses. Usually people replace Water Sweep with Green Tome Breaker on Soren. So she's able to deal with all of these green units, including Hector, who is very popular, and she can even deal with a fully buffed Life and Death plus attack Nino. And as you can see, she's able to survive with 12 HP, and Nino just dies. So she is a very good enemy phase unit, and this was her best skill set. So let's move on to our 9th unit for this video, and now we're going to be taking a look at Jaffar. And Jaffar is a poking type of unit, and he is debuffer by nature, and he can deal a lot of passive damage, but people try to give him Poison Dagger and try to make him like a Gyro, but honestly Poison Dagger isn't really that good of a weapon for him. Even a minus attack Kagero with the same skill set as Jaffar wins more matchups than him. So honestly, I think that you shouldn't be giving Poison Dagger to Jaffar, and Saizo and Gaius are much better candidates for Poison Dagger from Kagero. And for this skill set, you want to give Drawback, and Drawback is actually a really good skill for units like Jaffar who have got poor bulk, so they also move 1 space back into the safe area after using this move on an ally. And for slot B, I'll be giving him Wind Sweep. Now usually people run Poison Strike on slot B, but in my opinion Wind Sweep is absolutely necessary for a poking unit like Jaffar, because this meta is just filled with Vantage units like Vantage Hector, Vantage Ryoma, and Vantage Ike, and not to mention a lot of units like Effie, Ephraim, and Zephiel also commonly run distant counters. So that's why for him to function as a debuffer and a passive damage dealer, he needs to stay alive, and Wind Sweep does help him with that. If you do not really have to sacrifice to Jaffar, then obviously Poison Strike does work, and it does stack up with his Deathly Dagger passive damage, so it's up to you. And for his special, you want to give him Moonbow, because Jaffar is not really going to be doubling much because of Wind Sweep, and he's not going to be getting counter attacked so that's why having a low cooldown special is good. And for slot C, you want to give him Savage Blow so that he can do even more passive damage to his opponents and weaken them for your allies. And he's basically a passive damage dealer and a debuffer, like I said. And for his Sacred Seal, you want to run attack +1 so that he can do more damage. And that's the skill set for Jaffar. Now let's move on to the final unit for this video, and that unit is gonna be Ogma. I think I actually said Adult Tiki as the final unit for A+ tier, but nope, it is gonna be Ogma. So Ogma is a very underrated unit who has got power and bulk, and for his assist skill you want to run Swap or Reposition. Both of them are excellent skills in this current metagame. And for his special you want to run Bonfire because it gives him 15 points of additional damage with Fury, and Fury in my opinion is the best Lottie skill for him because it gives Ogma speed, power and bulk, all of the things which he loves. And I wouldn't recommend running Life and Death on Ogma because he's actually pretty bulky, so skills like Fury are much better. You can even run Death Blow or Darting Blow because they give him pretty similar results to Fury, so it's up to the availability of your units. And for slot B, you want to run Sword Breaker, and with Sword Breaker he's able to one round KO every sword unit in the game except for Sword Breaker Ike, Hinata and Drog. And you don't really see Hinata and Drog that much, so Sword Breaker Ike is gonna be the main unit who's gonna survive. And for slot C, you want to give him Threaten Defense. Threaten Defense debuff actually wins him more matchups compared to Threaten Speed debuff, so that's why Threaten Defense is recommended. And for his Sacred Seal, you want to run Speed +1 as it wins him slightly more matchups compared to Attack +1. This is his matchup chart, and he has got 93 wins and 0 losses with this skill set, which is absolutely amazing, and he's actually very underrated. I've only seen like one Ogma in my whole time of playing this game, and as you can see, he has got the power to get 93 wins and the bulk to have 0 losses, so he's pretty good. And that is gonna be the skill set for him, and that is gonna conclude my video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. In this video we completed the A+ tier units, and in the next episode I'm gonna be covering half of the A tier units, so look out for that. And please be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this series, it helps me a lot. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.
Fight for my friends, fight for my friends, fight for my friends, fight for my friends. I fight for my friends.